Here in the UK, there is a guy called Gary Neville. Gary Neville is a multi-millionaire former footballer who used to play for a team called Manchester United, turned commentator who now dabbles quite a bit in left-wing socialist politics and plasters it all over his Twitter account. So yes, if you add up all that together, then yes, indeed, he is your typical out-of-touch champagne socialist. He has absolutely no idea about the lives of ordinary men and women who went to see him play football back in the day. So like I said, if you go onto his Twitter account, it's just chock full of anti-Brexit, anti-Tory, conservative, just rhetoric really, sound bites. So Gary Neville's latest, let's say, misguided tweet is this. And he wrote, "I can't believe this effing idiot has been prominent in politics in this country for the last few years. He's divisive, dangerous, and a disgrace to the UK. He is, of course, talking about Nigel Farage." Or as another out-of-touch left-wing socialist, wealthy left-wing socialist radio presenter on LBC, James O'Brien, calls him Farage. I don't get that. I really don't get it. But then again, it is James O'Brien. I don't get him. So Gary Neville's clearly taken a pop at Nigel Farage. And underneath this tweet was a video that Nigel Farage posted on his Twitter account where he was out on the channel, the English channel, and he was kind of on the lookout for illegal migrants. Now again, for those who aren't familiar and watching from outside the UK, the English Channel is what divides Great Britain, the island, from mainland Europe. It's a natural barrier. It saved us from invasion. I mean, countless times, apart from that time in 1066 when William the Conqueror did his thing. However, there is another invasion happening, and it's happening right now. It's been happening for the past couple of years. It's migrants mainly from, allegedly, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, the Middle East. They're rowing over. They pay thousands and thousands to illegal people smugglers for these completely unsuitable and dangerous little blow-up dinghies to cross over. And they pack them. They pack these things. And now, more often than not, they sink and they die. So it's a dangerous venture. And quite frankly, it's also dangerous to the UK. These people are allowed to do this. Now, again, I will reiterate, I am not against immigration. It has its benefits, which it brings to the UK. But these are the right sorts of immigrants. Now, I don't care what colour you are, culture, or whatever the hell you do. But if you're a professional and you want to come over and ply that trade, help society out, integrate, appreciate that the people here have our own way of doing things. You don't bother anyone else. And you don't expect the people and the government to bend over backwards for you while you demand a luxurious life here, then that's fine. You know, who can argue against that? All I want is controlled immigration, all right? It's controlled. Obviously, even if you want controlled immigration these days, you're a xenophobic racist, then, you know, what else can I say? That's what the lefties call you. Now, Nigel Farage has been doing this on the channel now for the past 2-3 years. He's been patrolling the channel, had people filming him and pointing out what's going on, which is a good thing. However, he is promoting the fact, and other people are also promoting the fact that he's the only one who's ever done this and is doing this. This is completely untrue, because there are other people, there are other YouTubers who've had their channels shut down for filming and bringing us the truth about what's going on down on the southern beaches of England when these people row over. And these people have also been prosecuted for doing this. So there we go, that's the truth. And yes, I am still on the fence when it comes to Nigel Farage. I'm not too sure still, after all this time, what to make of him. After all, this is the guy who turned his back on numerous political parties he started. He stood all the candidates down from his previous party to ensure that the Conservatives won the last general election. So, you know, I think I can be forgiven for having a gut instinct that tells me something is wrong somewhere with Nigel Farage. And yes, I know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had Brexit and some other good stuff. But still, when you have a gut instinct, when the alarm bells ring, something's there. Am I right or am I right? But having said that about Nigel, at least he gets out there and he actually looks at what's really going on. Unlike self-righteous thickos like Gary Neville, who send out virtue signalling tweets from behind the walls of their huge mansions in the countryside to appease the hysterical and rather dangerous Twitter mob. But back to Gary Neville here, because Gary Neville has tweeted this, and he's mates with the likes of Gary Lineker, for heaven's sake, who does exactly the same thing. These are the people who weep for these alleged refugees who come over here, who have nothing and just want sanctuary and safety. Well, what exactly are these people fleeing from when they're in France? Why are most of them men? And why, as we have seen recently, are they throwing their phones into the sea before they're picked up? And yes, there is evidence of them doing it. There's films of them doing it. Why would a refugee do that? They throw papers and mobile phones into the sea. And let's not forget, of course, the Manchester bomber. He was picked up by the Royal Navy, so he was one of these people. And this is what happens. This is the danger of unchecked mass open floodgates immigration. And of course, there was the statement that ISIS, the Islamic terror group, put out saying they will be planting members of their terror group within these people in order to carry out atrocities. And that is a threat not worth ignoring. So the last time I looked, France wasn't engulfed in a huge life-threatening war. So I don't know what the hell these people are fleeing France for. Then again, it is the EU. So if there is a massive civil war engulfing all member countries on mainland Europe, then Brussels, the European Union, are doing a cracking job of keeping it quiet. Of course, that's all bullshit. There's no such thing. They come to Britain because Britain is the land of milk and honey and generous benefits, and you get looked after. And this is because of bleeding heart lefties in government, in parliament, walking the corridors of power in Downing Street, who are pushing the mantra that multiculturalism is a good thing and diversity is our strength. You will see these catchphrases absolutely everywhere now, and anyone who goes against that rhetoric is branded a racist and a xenophobe, etc. And they will ruin your lives, folks. They will make you out to be literally Hitler if you speak out about this, even in a moderate manner. And it's causing division. It really is causing division. And it's not division because there are genuine racists here who hate people of a different culture and a different skin colour. But forcing people of vastly different cultures to live together, where one culture is demanding and uncompromising and wants the host nation to bend over backwards to its demands, and then they're expecting the citizens of that host nation to go along with it. It's just wrong, isn't it? It really is wrong. And the pressure unchecked migration puts on the social services here in the UK is it's staggering. Because at one point there was nearly 1,000 people a day crossing the channel. Can you imagine an extra 1,000 people on NHS waiting lists? Their children adding to the numbers, expanding class sizes in schools, affecting kids' education. And that's not even to mention the social housing waiting lists and public transport, etc. It's a heavy burden to carry, especially when these people don't contribute. And being a socialist system here in the UK, it's people's contribution that helps to make it work. But when you have less people contributing to a system that effectively gives to everyone, it's going to put pressure on it, and people don't see this. The bigger picture here isn't racist. However, recently, the past 9 days, the numbers of these people coming over in their little dinghies over the channel has decreased. And this is because I believe the government's Rwanda programme, where Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, has promised to put these people immediately on a plane when they get to the UK and fly them to Rwanda where they can get processed. Now, this has obviously gotten out to people across the channel, and they are using their noggins now. They're thinking, well, I want to go to the UK. I want benefits, free housing, like the illegal people smugglers. And the people who've gone over there already have said, and I won't get that now. I'll get flown over to some African shithole. I don't want that. I'll tell you what, we'll stay here. We won't bother. And it's saving lives, because the less of these people that are rowing over the channel in their dinghies, the less of them are sinking into the bottom of the channel and, surviving. So it's a win-win situation. The alleged refugees stay in a safe country, France, which is a member of the EU, which according to the Remainers here in the UK is a great place to be, and we should be back there. Which means there is less pressure on things here in the UK, and it's a win-win, everyone's a winner. So I wonder if wealthy, out-of-touch, champagne socialists like Gary Neville and Gary Lineker, if they lived in sinkhole council estates where migrants, legal and illegal, are being put into wholesale and affect those areas, I wonder if they would have the same view on immigration as they do as these people who live in a bubble. They live in a bubble, folks. They have no idea about, the ordinary people on the street, the people who watch them on the telly, people who have to work 12, 14, 16, 18, even longer hour shifts just to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads. Because while people here in the UK are struggling to put heating on and food on the table, or have to choose between the two, and even pay the rent or mortgage, many people here are getting angrier and angrier as this goes on and seems to be spiralling out of control. Because can you imagine being a working class person, you're struggling and you have to choose which bills to pay, and your children are hungry and you're working every hour God gives you and you're struggling and it hurts, and then someone can just row over the English Channel, and as soon as they get here, they get what you have and more for free, and they don't have to work a day to get it. That's what people are angry about, folks. That's what Nigel Farage gets. I'll give him that. And that's what people like Gary Neville and Gary Lineker refuse to understand. And that's the fundamental difference here. So I guarantee you, folks, people like Gary Neville, they will preach for refugees welcome, but nowhere near them. And to answer Gary Neville's tweet, Nigel Farage has been prominent in politics in the UK for the past few years because he has been willing to put his neck on the line, and he says what the majority of the people in this country are thinking. And he has been hounded viciously by lefties out on the streets. He's been assaulted while out campaigning, and he's had his life sort of turned upside down simply because of what he's doing, though not in a Tommy Robinson extreme kind of way. I mean, they went after him big time, didn't they? So there we go, that's what I think. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like what I do, if you believe in free speech, because I've been demonetised by the lefties who run this shit show of a social media platform, then by all means you can support my channel by buying me a beer. The link is down below. Everyone who has done so far, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And that's that. So please comment, share, subscribe, and until my next video, Roger Trout.